regulations, we're talking content ideas and things like that. And I love that for you, that you are thinking of your core, looking at the core talents and then looking at the business ideas. We came up with two of us. You're seeing how you can have these businesses in different forms. Your lash stuff could still retain its original business structure. You don't have to digitalize it. Like, you can digitally market it, of course, but you may not digitalize it the way you would do it with YouTube. You see how your crypto still remains a structure, but you understand the possibilities that you now have with the crypto. And if you want to expand, thinking more long term, what do you need to do? So you have that knowledge. And also you have the, last but not the least, our dancing girl who makes the cut to YouTube. Other girl is auditioned, but she's the only one who came through. So you see that this is just brilliant. And you really recall the unlisted video tutorial I shared with you. I'm currently doing a course right now, and the first part of the course was an unlisted video on YouTube. I was screaming. I'm like, see, I didn't even know that, but I knew that. Do you feel what I'm trying to say? And that's the beauty about, like, when you open up your mind, you begin to like see possibilities, and then when you come across like-minded people, they're also like, oh yeah, this is what we do, and you're like the Bible says, it was not man that revealed it unto him, but the Spirit of God. Like, it clicked for you. So like, I just wanted to just looking at like how far we've come from over 14 days ago. We've come a long way. At least now you know that your talent is in you. It's never going away. You can choose to let it rust, or you can amplify it, and you can do the work. You can show up and do the work. Like, you have to think about, where have I been emotionally? I never want to be there again. Where do I desire to go? I can't wait to be there. And just those should be louder in your head than the voices of people judging you. That's what I've had to do, like, also myself, just push. Because I was thinking about, I said, wait, do you know that less than like 2 years ago, I was like a healthcare influencer, products influencer, right? Like, I reviewed everything from cups to dildos to like pills, and I always used to say, oh, I wish I had a physical product. And I would tell myself, I'm more of an intellectual, like, not all of us are gifted to have physical product. What a bull crap was that? Do you understand what I mean? Like, that was bull crap. That was just crap. I was telling myself, crap. Idea itself is a product, yeah? And I knew that. Like, I knew an idea was a product, but it's different. Like, now I know, like, I'm getting the skills. I'm investing in myself. I'm getting the skills to package these ideas into tangible products that earn money. So that's like the core of the clarity session. That's basically what it has evolved to, setting people with the mindset and also the tools, the reproductive and the well-being tools, basically the mindset and the well-being tools to keep amplifying. It could change. There's a lady I follow. When I followed her on YouTube, she used to talk about zodiac signs. So that's why I basically followed her, because I was curious about what are zodiac signs, how do they play into our lives, the stars, everything. Then her channel, somebody now dragged her one day that every time she does her videos, she's in a different house. Are you listening? She's in a different house. Is she or is she do you know what I mean? I don't want to say it, but so like, very vulgar question, like, people don't mind their business, because I never thought about like the couch behind her. I just used to look at her face like, yeah, I need to learn. I'm more of like an audiovisual learner. I need to see and hear at the same time. It's an ADHD. I don't know. May or may not be. So then she just does a whole video randomly about a day in her life. She's a trader. She used to be a stocks trader, like a crypto stocks trader. So she used to trade at night, like early hours of the morning in the US. So she did like a whole week. She didn't say anything to the comments. She just put the comments on the video and did her like a vlog. And whatever we're seeing, the couches were a tiny glimpse of how lavish her life like actually is. From there, it blew up. People wanted like advice on like crypto, on stock market trading. So her channel just evolved towards that, and now she's talking more about like she currently just brought out a book on magnetism and money mindset, abundant mindset for women. I'll send you the link for you to probably like watch it also. What am I going with all of this is that at the core of it, oh, did I lose you? Why is screen moving? Do share mirror screen whatever for yeah, but I don't think it's helping my life. So I could leave the phone, the battery's low, but it's fine. I will just we'll power through like that. So that being said, you shared with me your questions. You talked about your question bar and for the social stuff, and also you shared with me the choices you decided to make with the business. I think we should go into cycle syncing. What did you think about the book?
I love every. Oh God, can you see me?
I can see
Oh,
you.
this open. I thought it was gonna be on the screen. I wanted to open the file,
Okay.
but I don't like the fact that I cannot still see you while opening it. I can hear you, right?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright, just I'll soon come back.
Okay.
I know, right? These are phases I did not. I only knew about ovulation and menstruation.
That's the only one they taught us, scammers, so that they can be exploiting us during the other times. They think they're sharp.
But I know I had come across a lady on IG. She was talking about how her face when different phases come and all that. And I was like, different phases. I was thinking, I was chalking it up to all this astrological stuff. Which one be follicular? I'm like, wait
That's our original planner. That's the best time to like make your plans, because the way your brain works, you can articulate plans in-depthly. And I if you recall, I talked about this, I don't know if it was, I think to you, about how the plans, I came up with plans for my tea during my follicular phase. I'd initially thought up, like the idea had come to me while menstruating, but I was like, I had like that limiting belief, like, let me sell some more books first, etc., etc. I think I mentioned it to you. I don't know if you're still with me.
It broke off for a while because I'm about to come back and tell you I cannot hear you.
Okay.
I was really thinking the call and cut.
No. Okay, are you with me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So what was the last thing you heard?
That was what they taught us in school.
Yeah. See, the way the world is set up. Yeah. I don't even want to go into like government and philosophy and psychology and the history of the world and whatever, but the bottom line is we are a resource. We as people, we are a resource. And when we go to work, or when we exist in a country, when we subjugate ourselves to get access to other things, is for exchange. In exchange, it's our mindset and where that leads us to. In exchange, it could be literally our health. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So when you look at it for women, because the world wants access to labor, physical, mental, labor, creative labor, whatever, and women have creative labor abundantly, and because the countries need reproductive labor to populate their countries with people that would give them labor, capitalist labor, for them to earn profits, for them to be able to fight wars, for them to be able to feed the country, for them to be able to earn tax. The misinformation and lack of information about reproductive health care is very intentional. And so the first step to break out of the matrix is not wearing black and going to watch X-Men or whatever. It's actually learning about your body. It's learning about you. How do you feed yourself? What works? How does my brain work? I mean, the average Nigerian girl can tell you where to order really good human hair from, but she cannot give you an in-depth flow of what happens to her biologically on an average day. And I used to be like that. I'm still like that some ways. I mean, not all of us are going to go back to get a medical degree. I don't know if you can still hear me. Not all of us are going to go back to get a medical degree or whatever. But at the basics, you need to understand, how does my reproductive health, how does that relate to my emotional health? How does my emotional health and my thoughts, my brain, how do they work? What's my digestion like? Things that impact your health. And with women leading like the numbers of autoimmune diseases, being the largest autoimmune diseases, cancer, diabetes, things where your body begins to see constant sources of stress within itself as an external threat and begins to fight itself. because it's just trying to survive. So when you look at all these things, we see that at the core of it, health is wealth. And I know it sounds funny and it's a catchphrase we say in Nigeria, health is wealth, though. Don't let anybody stress you, don't let anybody kill you. But like, it's literally real. Because the health, the success, the wealth of your business, of your career depends on your well-being, on your health. That's it. I'm not packaging any other thing in my package other than that. That's it. End of story. Buy and go home. So, and it starts with cycle syncing for us women, because we need to know how to work with ourselves. You know, I don't know about you, but if you've really been in a place where your body is your enemy, your body sees you as the enemy, you're starving it, you don't even know, you're just suffering in silence. You have to show up at work with terrible menstrual cramps, you have brain fog, you can't seem to concentrate. People are like, how could you not tell that guy is a scammer? Don't you have discernment? You cannot discern anything. Your brain is not functioning well. And I'm not even trying to be insultive. Like, literally, your brain is not being fed well enough. Your gut is in disarray because of the amount of stress hormones, like your spleen and your kidneys going through, and anxiety and everything. So your gut is not even healthy enough to be telling you, don't go there, he's a rapist. Nothing is working. And it doesn't help that you stay in a country that is intentionally made to traumatize you, so that people can keep, robbing the country blind. So at the end of the day, it's making that choice to say, you know what, I choose to understand my body, number one, and I choose to align everything I do with the different phases of my cycle. What are my hormones? We don't have to wait till when we're struggling to have children, when we're ready to settle down. We don't have to wait till we realize, it's like this leg pain is arthritis, and I'm just like in my 30s. We don't have to wait till we're diagnosed with breast cancer or lupus. Do you feel me? You don't have to wait dealing like me that was walking up and down the whole world. I was traveling up and down with flagyl in my bag. I was dealing with IBS. Hey, I look back at myself. I'm like, truly, the Bible that says the ignorant man is dead. King Solomon knew what he was saying. You know what I mean? Like, So that's basically just cycle syncing. It's choosing to align yourself with the way you're naturally made, and everything should fall into place. While you're a human being, if things can't fall into place, then you might as well be somebody's dog pet. You feed a dog when a dog can eat. You feed a dog when a dog, you play with a dog when you're ready to play with a dog. Like, who wants to live their life like that anyway? And the way the world is going, I'm just going to keep it real with you. Things are not going to get better generally. It's going to be better for those who are children of God, who follow His directions and His instructions. But generally, if you don't put yourself in a place where you're not dependent on the health system, if you don't put yourself in a place where you are your own doctor, you are taking care of yourself, you know what's in the soap. The small chicken chain, they are paying us in all these jobs. Coleto. It's all what happened during COVID-19, where there were not enough ventilators for people. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? This is not the time. I'm seeing all these people talking about doing feminine energy, and all they're talking about is catching a man. You don't even understand yourself and you want to catch a man. That's why they're scamming people up and down. That's why they're scamming people up and down. Like, respectfully, your priorities are not straight. They're not okay. I'm not saying looking for love is wrong. I'm just saying find your self-love first. Take care of your body first. So basically, that's basically just it. So now that we talked about this, do you normally track your cycle?
I have this Fitbit app that usually, reminds me about it had that, but then sometimes it doesn't get me right. Like, in fact, it told me my period was supposed to start yesterday, and I was like, I didn't say nothing. So I don't know if it will come later this week or maybe next week. But sometimes it doesn't really predict accurately, or maybe my body does not just want the period to come even after the current prediction to just come when it's ready.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know if there's one that is more recommended that you feel like would actually.
So, are you going to say that? I'm going to ask two questions. I'm going to say one thing, now ask two questions. First of all, period apps do not accurately predict periods. They predict periods within a space of 4 to 2 days of accuracy or inaccuracy. Most people don't know that. So that's number one. So even if you get on another one, you might likely have that thing where maybe they say it's coming 2 days earlier, 2 days later, that type thing, or 3 days. So that's one thing to know. Secondly, because they're working with a mean average of data collated of millions of women, and it varies. Secondly, are you saying that, do you note down the dates you had your first menstruation from previous? Do you know those dates?
I don't know.
No, like, is it on an app? Is it in your app? You may not know it offhand, but it's in your app. You have access to it. Okay, good. So you can draw up your own pattern. You can notice your own pattern. If you go back last 3 or 5 months, you can just write this down. The first day you bleed is the start of a new cycle, right? And if you read the book, I talked about the ranges of how many days different phases occur, so you can kind of get an idea of what your cycle is like. So before, when I was still before healing my hormonal imbalance, I was having cycles that were as long as 36, 38. They're just all over the place. Sometimes it would be short at 32, 28, but now they've regulated to how it was when I was in university, which is like complete reset. It's crazy to me. Like, the past 2 months have been good. I thank God for that. And what did I do? I just ate right. I just shared my taxes, like my tax according to my cycle. It's a lifestyle change. I don't expect anybody to be able to do it effortlessly in 2 weeks or 4 days or 2 days. It's taking me like over 6 months to get a hang of it. But the bottom line is for us to basically just start our process. The easiest way to get on to cycle syncing is food, because food is more impactful in our life. Yeah, it's impactful. What did you say?
No, so I read in your guide about cravings. So those cravings, is it? I wanted to ask, is it like before the period or during the period or after the period? When those cravings come, do you like have to indulge, or you just say, the way? Because I know I'm trying to lose weight and everything. So even if I'm craving those things, I try not to, because I noticed this period I've been craving spicy. I don't really want sugary stuff. Even if
so what that means is, like, you craving spicy things is your body needs antioxidants. So you might still, maybe you need to go and get fresh pepper, maybe fresh chili peppers, some onions, make a really nice spicy sauce, eat it with some maybe pasta or whatever you want to eat it with, drink orange juice. Any food that has that antioxidants, your body's craving that. That's what pepper is, as an antioxidant. Your body needs that thing that will get into your system and cleanse your cells and energy. That's what your body is craving for. So if you have like a product that can detox you could try that too. So that's what the essence of talking about cravings is. It's about whatever you crave at the month, whether it's before, after, or during your period, tells you what your body needs. And when you identify what like this food I want to eat, what's the nutritional value of it if I was eating the most organic, healthier version of it? Let me put it that way. You know that if you're eating potato chips, right? If you're craving potato chips, it's not the most healthiest thing to be eating Pringles back to back, right? However, there are different things that make up the Pringles. The actual potatoes itself potatoes are really good for your luteal phase, as you saw in the guide. They're really good for your follicular phase because they are rich carbs that fill you up and cut down your cravings for carbs. So if you're in luteal phase, you need a lot of carbs for, just that's what the phase needs for energy and different things like that. So that might be time when you're craving a lot of like Pringles, sweet things, because your brain is low on serotonin, which is your neurotransmitter that gives you joy, happiness. So you'll be craving things that will spark dopamine. Now, if you're on a diet and you don't have any knowledge about this, you can't be eating Pringles, can't be eating lollipop. You're feeling shit. You feel the dopamine rush, but after a while, you're still hungry, so you keep eating more. Meanwhile, you could have made yourself some sweet potatoes or Irish potatoes, made yourself a really nice spicy sauce, drank some orange juice, and it's like you had poured a barrel of sand into a pit. You've shocked your tummy very well. Do you understand what I mean? So that's where like the craving things come from. I'm just using it as an example of our bodies are so intelligent. If they don't know more foods, your brain will recommend more foods, because how is it supposed to get the information of more foods? But the food it knows already that will give it the same thing. It will be telling you, It'll be telling you then based on your lifestyle, you might pick the healthier or the unhealthier version. So that's the thing about like cravings, basically. So that being said, I'm just going to go into cycle syncing board for business and for work and everything. If you've gone through the guide, I know you have access to your guide right now. We talked about how in the different phases there are specific activities you are supported to do. During menstruation, you're more supported to review your life, which is the video series I've been doing on TikTok. Review your personal life, go dig your inner treasures, that type of thing. Reflective journaling, review your recent decisions, plan ahead for the cycle, because I said, remember, the first day of your menstruation is the start of a new cycle. So isn't God wonderful? He made us at the start of the cycle have both sides of our brains balanced enough for us to analyze our life and come up with the thing we're going to run with for the next month, more or less. So it's the perfect time for you to take a break from tedious tasks. When you're menstruating, is not the time for you to decide to do a whole deep house reset vlog that will last 18 hours streaming on YouTube for viewership, and they'll be telling us, guys, I just had to do it, like I'm menstruating, I'm in so much pain, but I just had to do it. All that mental energy that you do not have physical support for, that mental energy is supposed to be going towards planning your life. Instead of doing that 18-hour deep clean YouTube live streaming, you could have come up with the business plan of a house cleaning job and business. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Depending on how you apply yourself. But nobody teaches us all these things because they want you to come to work even when you're dying, to give that creative idea to them. Because in the midst of your pain, you're going to think of the most easiest, efficient way to do something. And that is going to benefit who? Your employer or your educator or the government. So I think you're kind of getting what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway, so workouts, right? That's another thing I wanted you to pay attention to, because that's a unique angle for you who's going to be creating dance workouts and things like that. So on the workouts, you can see in premenstruation, we have more workouts that help with emotional release, that help you with easier bleeding and healing. When people think of healing, they think, for a Nigerian, they think a man of God laying his hand on you. And for people who are more well-traveled, they think it's like going on a thing where you ignore all your responsibilities and you just relax. Healing is you taking stock of yourself, reflecting on yourself, taking all of those things to God, and just being and God just telling you, do this, do that, read this part of the Bible, or you come across somebody who will give you the tools to process what you need to heal, be it your shadow self, your inner child, if it's trauma, if it's a medical doctor for something that is physical, or if it's you changing your lifestyle. That's why a lot of these illnesses, psychosomatic illnesses, diabetes, arthritis, IBS, they're all lifestyle illnesses. The power of our thoughts and our emotions, the power of our thoughts and its influence on our emotions, and then the state of our emotional health and how it impacts our body, our vital organs. Bearing in mind that the heart, the kidney, the liver, they all, I hope you can still hear me. They all function in different parts of our, with our reproductive system for our periods and everything. So you don't want to be in a state where even your workouts are stressing you out. So let me give you a picture. There's no fuel in the car. There's little, you're about below empty. That's okay, that's fine. And then you come across someone who's like, oh, we're even moving houses today. Could we put a whole settee on your car? They're about to run out of fuel. So that's how it is. You're not feeding yourself to give yourself the nutrients you need, and it's in the cycle syncing guide. The nutrients you need at different phases. During menstruation, you need more iron, magnesium, vitamin C, and all these things. What do? They are blood enriching, organ, cell regenerating nutrients. Vitamin C is so powerful. It's an antioxidant. It helps with new red blood cells. Same thing with magnesium, same thing with iron. That's why I see your menstruation, you're craving citrus fruits, you're craving chocolates, you're craving things that on a norm we associate with luxury eating. See, when it's for women's lifestyle is luxury eating. Never mind. Anyway, child, as I was saying. And so I list a couple of Nigerian foods that would work. Eforiru and amala, plantain porridge, unripe plantain porridge, edikaikon soup, pepper soup, because of all the meats and the entrails, afang, even this fura, I don't know, this northern millet drink, things like that. There's spices too, you know. If you have you bought the guide, it's basically like a shopping list. You may not have to try everything, but what if you have two things? If you have like two Nigerian meals you eat during your period, you have certain fruits you can take during your period and other phases anyway, and you have one or two spices, you are automatically set up to get your nutritional needs. And you would, without even watching what you eat, you will notice yourself, your meal intake will reduce because you're not eating junk. Most of our hunger craving is because the body is not satisfied. It still needs nutrients. But we don't get that. We're socialized to see food, to see eating as a psychological comfort. And it's not. Work on your issues, heal your issues, and leave your body alone. Like your body is dealing with your emotion, is dealing with your thoughts of you feeling you're not good enough, you're dealing with your emotions of anger and resentment. You still doesn't even have enough energy from food to do its bare minimum work. Of course, the person will experience hormonal imbalance, you know, because the liver is so overworked and yes, starved. She can't even tell if what is coming is vitamin A or if it's a cancerous cell. She don't even care if it's a nutrient. She's just smashing it away. She's just like, I'm so sorry, I don't even know who you are. Pass. And then you realize you're impaired eyesight, right? Because when you feel certain emotions, they impact certain organs, sense organs. Like I said in my video, anger impacts your liver, and liver is in charge of blood flow to the eyes. And if your homegirl, she's struggling for fighting for her life to stay alive. Sorry to your nutrients coming to your eyes, another day, another lifetime. And it's just like, since I started this job, I've been balding, I've been breaking out, my eyesight is not as good, I have a third gut. Girl, and you're still at the job. Okay. And you're still at the job. Okay. And you're still at the job. Okay. So we see that your flow-based yoga, nature walks are better during your menstruation. So if you were gonna create content about, you know, menstruation, dance workouts for menstruation, so that will get you thinking, do you want to instead create like, oh, this is my playlist for you to take a nature walk during your menstruation, or this is how I do mine, I do more of, you know, those are things to think about. I do more somatic yoga, or I just get on the treadmill at a very slow pace and I walk while listening to some of my favorite music. That's how I want you to think, both in your personal life but also as a content creator, right? You want to be in a state where you are balanced, taking care of your health at first, before you then incorporate that knowledge into how you cater to people. Do you understand? Of course, I have a tag for the spiritual activity to do during that time. It's the time for you to release. You know, you need to be releasing when you're in your period. You need to release emotionally, mentally, with your thoughts, release negative thoughts. You need to journal your emotions, process them, everything go out. Spiritually, you need to pray to God, like, God heal me, remove everything that, whatever, you know, energies, whatever, as an African, attacks, arrows, programming, anything that is in my body during my period is in your book. Lord, remove it. And then, of course, we have like things, I put in natural hair care practices, right? Is it during your menstruation, it's time to take a break from, of course, your hair care practices. So when we go on over to the follicular phase, it's a phase where we need a lot of vitamin B and a lot of zinc, which are vitamin E, which are vital for when new things are growing. That's why I see a lot of hair care supplements, hair care products have vitamin E, they have vitamin B. They're wonderful for the growth of new things. And that's what is happening during your follicular phase. Somebody's future babies are growing then. Like the cells that will give them their future babies are growing then. So imagine, for a body, human body is so intelligent that it keeps a score. It keeps records of trauma. It keeps records of inadequacies in our cells. So this time, imagine, you just be wondering that my first child, when I took him, we were very happy, you know, young love. My first child is so intelligent, but the marriage got shaky. When we had my second child, you can see my second child is so quiet. He's slow, he's dumb. He was, because you did not feed your cells well. The cells that grew that time, they just match, it's just by the grace of God, they were able to remix the material that they saw there. They just take and go. Do you know what I mean? It sounds funny, but this, you have that, and then you have the fact that, do you know that, I'll make you laugh, you won't believe this, your habits, thoughts, behaviors as at the time when you get pregnant are encoded in the chromosome you pass on to your unborn child. Go and search that out. You think you're a failure? You've seen those parents with that child. Why are you so sluggish? Why are you not sharp? Because that time when you took it for that child, you didn't think you were sharp. You were not sharp. You were sluggish. You were not even fueling your body well with the appropriate nutrients. So whatever was used to make that child is low standard. I'm sorry I shouldn't be saying this about children, and I know I'm recording this session for you to listen, but I said what I said. That's just you as a woman. Imagine the man and all the nonsense he's bringing and the good things he's bringing from his DNA. He's bringing from his DNA the wonderful things he's bringing and the bad things he's bringing from his DNA. It's why you have a sibling, you guys are so alike yet not alike. Right? You're like, my sibling is a weirdo, but that sibling will call you a weirdo too. And two of you resemble different parts of your parents. So do you see where this is going? You're not eating for yourself, you're eating for your legacy. Because imagine doing all this level up work, building a multi-billion, not even million, I need you to be thinking multi-billion dance fitness industry empire, and the children you have, you've not done your inner work, so you traumatize them, number one. At the time when you give birth to them, you didn't eat well, so they are starting their life with subpar neuro-biochemical materials. They've already lost in the game of life, and they're just starting life. This thing is deep. Do you understand? This is deep. This is masterclass class thing deep. This is not something I'll be saying on TikTok anyhow. Let them not ban me or something. But like, so it's like when you're eating your carrots, when you're thinking, I'd rather meditate and believe the word of God than believe that things are tough. There's no good out there. That's not what the Bible tells me. I know about you, for me. The God I believe in told me there's always plentiful. His wings are always there. If it's hard, I will run under my daddy's wings. Do you have wings? No, but my daddy has wings. Exactly. I choose to believe that abundance is my birthright. That's literally why Jesus came. He said he came to give life abundantly and abundantly. So life is just the start. There's more to it. You're created in the image of God. And you have to embody the character of God for you to have dominion and to get access to your abundance. You need to do the work. I was talking to God. I said, God, I need to up my marketing skills. I need to do that. I need to do that. Tell me why throughout this week I've just been coming across courses, content that has to do with money. God really said, I've heard you, girl. Now go and do your work. So once we're done, I have a course I have to get back to. I have class I have to get back to for my meeting at 4. Before we joined in, I was working on releasing the new product I released. I was working on the workbook and everything. So you need to be in a space where you're connected to God, your belief system, and when you know that the biblical principle that this whole Naija Cycle Syncing guide is based off on, if you go to the beginning of the guide, we have the Bible verse there that is Genesis 1:11-12, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass and herb, yielding seed, and fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. And the earth brought forth grass. Do you see the fact that that's the God you're working with? You just have to you just have to trust God. Be in your feminine energy, receive your creative idea, get into your analytical brain, balance your creative brain. That's the masculine and feminine energy balance. Create your product of that idea. The way God said, let it be so, and it was so. Okay, so my battery is really low. I'll have to change to audio view, but we're still together. Okay. All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. So you see, God said, let there be. And what did he say? It sprung forth. And God saw it, and it was what? It was good. When I was reviewing this notes a couple of days ago in preparation for our session, the Holy Spirit said something to me. He said, it was good, but not to be misused. A lot of people are misusing things right now, and that's why it's not even working for us. Even with this, my guide, the instructions of how you should take certain herbs. Do not take a herb that I say don't take more than a teaspoon. Don't go and take more than a teaspoon. Don't overwork the liver, because many of our natural herbs, they are powerful. And many of us, we're now used to eating less than powerful things because of the world we live in right now. So that's another thing to be careful of. So you see that during your follicular phase, you are more supported to write out your action plan, your action steps, right? You already came up with your plans during your menstruation, God gifted you with a creative idea. So now is the time for you to act on your action steps. You can write out the plans that will make up your action steps. If you said, oh, okay, like you and I now, I don't know where you are in your cycle or your phase, but I don't know what as part of this session we've been going on the past 14 days, what task was easy or easier for you to do could tell you what phase you're in. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's not like you can't do the other phases, or you can do them quite all right. I mean, but you see there's some that are just so easy. It's like your brain is like this fresh breeze that is just pouring out of your brain, and some other one, it could be like a little bit of a struggle, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So you see that during the follicular phase, you also have flow-based yoga. So things that are repetitive, that you have to go step by step. The brain responds more to it, and you're more likely to see results. So obviously, if someone like you gets hired to be someone's personal, you come up with a dance workout routine for her and her kids, her daughters. You can tell how to structure. If her daughter's already menstruating, you can tell how to structure their dance routine plan, where you are optimizing what their hormones and their brain has to offer, so that losing the weight is easy. You just see they'll be saying, I recommend Susan, when I worked with her, all the weight just fell off easy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The meal plan you put them on is like everything just fell off easy. But when you're telling them track your cycle, they're probably looking like you were crazy. When you're telling them only eating, they were probably looking at you like, what's she saying? But when they begin to see the results, do you understand what I mean? Like, anyway, I digress. So, and there are each of the phases I put, like I said, what hair growth activities you could do then, because I know hair is very vital to us as women, especially as Black women with our natural hair. I put the spiritual activity for you, and also ovulatory phase, secondary school favorite phase to teach about. It's our fly state. The estrogen, she's strong. She's supported by testosterone and LH. We have peak fertility. The girls are ready. They're out. They've worn their makeup. They're ready and waiting for a baby that most likely is not gonna come. So, or may come, depending on your personal goals. And you will see that you need to eat foods that support your liver to metabolize estrogen. What does metabolize mean? It means like for the liver to process that hormone out of your system in preparation for the next phase, because it's at such a high level in your body. The hormone is such a high level. You should not, under any circumstances, be overeating animal protein during your ovulation. If you notice what I put there, I didn't even put chicken. Babes, if you are in the US, stay away from US chicken. Go and get ground turkey. That's what you should be cooking if you can't afford it. If you can't, stick to your plant proteins, beans, legumes. I beg you, in the name of God, one of the number one causes of, because every day our body fights off cancer. Cancer is just a cell that is an anomaly, right? So yes, cancer is a cell that's an anomaly. When you stay in a polluted, downfall bus, you pick up something and may turn one of your cells cancerous. But the body fights it off every day. But when one gets this phase where your organs are starved yet overworked, they can't do their work properly. And that is what too much animal protein does during eating to ovulation. Because people think you have high energy, some workout fitness people will tell you have high energy, up your protein intake. Yeah, if it's plant protein, fine and good. If it's not plant protein, stick to your turkey. Choose one. If you don't stick to turkey, leave meat alone. You stick to organic, meat that that they were not feeding it injections of like chemicals, yeah? You stick to that. If it's eggs, you stick to that. If it's catfish or wild salmon, you stick to one thing. Don't eat like a thief. I know it's not you, but like I'm just saying this because people, that's what you need, someone who knows their craft, whether they're a man or a woman, and that's the kind of fitness person you want to be. Because at the end of the day, by the time you start your dance workout, people are going to be like, what do you eat in a day? Give us what do you eat in a day? Do you get what I mean? And you're going to have to talk about, oh yeah, I cycle sync. This is the phase I'm in. This is what I do. This is what I don't do. And it's not a coincidence that the body needs, you won't believe if I say this, the body needs vitamin A to process animal proteins. So, and remember what I told you, the liver is in charge of passing vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin K, and blood flow to the eyes. Vitamin A, vitamin K help with your eyesight. So, if you are overeating animal protein, the nutrients that should go to your eyes will be going to the to make sure that the animal protein in your body doesn't overfeed your cells and lead to an overgrowth of cells, which is also cancerous. Are you deep in what I'm trying to tell you right now?
Yeah.
So let's move on to the activities you do during your ovulation. Because of the rise of the estrogen, you have the presence of the testosterone, you just have energy. So high intensity workout. So you know that, oh, okay, you know, this is the time you do the dance workout where you dance out maybe 5 most popular songs from a particular artist and you sweat it out. And you know, when you do that routine, you can follow along with yourself, you know, unlike when you did that, maybe if you do that during your next phase where you don't have that much high level of estrogen or testosterone. So cycling, cardio, and of course, because you have energy, you can execute your plans and your action steps. You can attend meetings. This is the best time to go on dates because you know your body is prepared to be fertilized. So your pheromones are smelling well, your skin is shining, your titties are tittying, your edges are edging. Like everywhere you go, people are like, beautiful black woman. You're like, thank you, she's African, but still, you know, thank you. Even your voice is voicing like, That is the best time for any of your social events. That's the best time to go and present a proposal to a prospective business partner. They're just like, I love your energy. You're like, yes, so give us your dollars. They're like, I love your energy. You're like, yes, so give us a project, give us a contract. Thank you very much. And it's the best time for you to travel. Now, you need to know that because of the phase one is in during their ovulation, you are more likely to see a guy and be like, oh, I like this guy, I want this guy, I like this guy. But in reality, 2 things are happening. Apart from your, you know, attraction to this person, sexual attraction to the person, there's also the fact that you probably like some of the traits the guy has. You may not like that guy. And why do I say this? We'll see that when we go to the next phase. So, and I say that in the book, we are supported to do these tasks, to begin to embody traits in the person we may romantically or hormonally fixate on. You may not romantically like the person, you think you like the person, the ovulation goes and it's like, the guy responds to the energy you gave him, so it's like he's calling you and disturbing you too much during your next phase. I know you've had that experience before. You're like, why is this guy everywhere? Why is he doing too much? Meanwhile, 2 days ago, hi, I just thought about you. I just passed somewhere and I was like, oh my God, this reminds me of you. And the guy's like, hi, I'm having a stressful day at work. Your voice just cheered me up. And he innocently takes that energy you gave him and wants to return. And next week, you're like, what is all this? Please, sir. I'm a child of God. What are you doing, sir? Please. Do you know? So, your luteal phase, when you look at your luteal phase, my goodness, I didn't even plug this phone down to charge. Okay, so I've plugged it in. So your luteal phase is the last phase of your Infradian cycle or your menstrual cycle, whatever you want to call it. It usually occurs 10 to 14 days. So it could be 10 for you, somebody else, it could be 12, 11, 14 days. Anything lesser or more than that is hormonal imbalance, right? So that's So here your body prepares for menstruation and you have an increased level of progesterone. So progesterone is the hormone that's the star girl during this luteal phase. And you experience reduced levels of serotonin. I mentioned her earlier. That's the neurotransmitter that is connected to happiness and joy, which when you work out, you get. So you see how this can help you come up with like your own workout routine and also content, right? The things to think about, to factor in. And when we understand ourselves better, we understand why we have certain moods. Because when you have an increase in progesterone, but you have a reduction in serotonin, that can make you moody. It can make you more impatient, but at the same time, you are more observant and meticulous. Can you see the irony about that? So you see that when you're more observant, you begin to pick out things people do to you, which can even contribute to your aggravate your moodiness. Am I not right? When you're more meticulous, you're like, see, Tunde, I said park this car straight. This car is not straight. Tunde, like, madam really is going at it with me today. Yes, ma. He will come down and repack the car and say, Tunde, sure, lost school. Did you go to school? Is it straight in your head? Didn't you used to line up on the assembly? The person like, hey, I'm in trouble today. Yes, ma. I will pack it again. So you become impatient because you're so meticulous and you're wondering, like, all of you, what's wrong with you people's brains? Nothing. Your brain is super. Your brain is super. Let the rest of us live. Come on. So you may dislike, like, things you may dislike might trigger overwhelming emotions like anger, feeling unappreciated, feeling unheard, or mistreated. It's during the luteal phase we want to cut off our friendship. It's during the luteal phase we want to break up with our ex-boyfriends or whatever. But you need to remember that all of this is calling you to what are the things you've dropped your standards on. What are the things you've not reinforced your boundaries on? Do you understand? During your previous phases, this is the time. That's why I say reflective journaling is so powerful during the luteal phase, right? And you need to eat foods that have healthy fats and are heavy carb rich meals. That's why you see some people, when they go off certain forms of diets like paleo, keto, veganism, they complain about lack of energy. They were not eating in a way that supported their cycle. Do you understand? So the time they needed to give their bodies and their brains fuel and medicine, they were giving it just half of the ration. Of course, if you're going with half a tank on a long journey, you can only go so far, only so fast. Do you understand what I mean? You need to eat lots of foods with high amounts of zinc, because that's the building block for progesterone. And when you check all the other vitamins that you need to have in your meals, like vitamin B, zinc, calcium, omega-3 fatty acids, Vitex, which can be gotten as supplements anyway. That's why I put supplements in the book underneath them. You realize that you're feeding all the organs that are helping you during your reproductive cycle. You're nourishing them. And that by extension, you're nourishing your other sense organs, you're nourishing your brain, you're nourishing your skin. Do you see how interesting and vital this thing is? And at the same time, you're nourishing your legacy of your future children. You're making sure that your body is storing healthy eggs, because every month is a banger. She's well fed. Every month is a banger. She's well fueled. Every month is a banger. She's eating healing foods. Come on, you radiate. Even when you don't have money, your skin is popping because your skin is popping. So, I rest my case. Go and look at the foods that are good to eat and Nigerian meals that are recommended. There are spices also. There's seed cycling. I talked about seed cycling earlier at the chapter on what is cycle syncing, how there are certain seeds that go through the cycles that we go through. Can you imagine? Isn't God wonderful? So those seeds can support us at certain aspects of our cycle because of the amount of specific nutrients they have in them that make them so enriched. Like watermelon seeds are very rich in zinc. So when you buy a watermelon
seeds.
Yeah, so when you buy a watermelon, you blend it with the seeds. You don't see, let me tell you something. A lot of our eating culture right now comes from this package with ease, fast food mentality that is closely linked to foreign organizations making sure people are as withdrawn from natural foods as possible, foreign pharmaceutical and medical organizations and their cultures that make it withdrawn from organic or natural naturopathic healing foods as much as possible, so you can buy artificial supplements, so you can be dependent on processed foods, get sick and need medical health insurance. So all those things of don't eat your seeds with your fruit, don't nonsense.
Speaking of what you just said, I think I stumbled on a video yesterday, or was it this morning when I couldn't sleep? The lady was saying that we should stop taking boric acid. You know, some girls want to die on that supplement because of all the property, the qualities or whatever for the female parts. And she was saying that this constant that girls always taking boric acid, that they need to stop and all those things, So I was just like, the way, because it was so hyped. I know I've never even taken it before, but I know the way girls were even advertising it. Some people made millions out of selling that boring supplement. So I'm just like, some of these supplements might just be there to keep you maybe addicted to it, but it might not even be doing as much as you think it's doing. So wow.
I can hear you. I was listening attentively to you. You're absolutely correct. Sometimes those supplements are great, but like we said, everything is in moderation. Like how, as wonderful as turmeric is, you shouldn't take more than a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, a teaspoon a day. Do you understand what I mean? You shouldn't take more than a teaspoon a day. And that's why even the Indians are using in their cooking, they mix so many other spices so that they don't overuse it. Same thing with cinnamon. Everything, like we said, we saw in Genesis 1:11 and 2:12. God created what? All the herbs yielding. The ones God created, not the GMOs, the ones God created yielding were good. They're good. You overdo it, like I said, the Holy Spirit cautioned me. You enter it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And so we see during the luteal phase, we can finalize plans, finalize contracts and projects. Why? Remember when we talked about the state of your hormones and your neurotransmitter, which is your biochemical aspect, that's the hormones. Your neurotransmitters, that's things that have to do with the brain, that's the serotonin. Because you have a reduced level of the happy neurotransmitter but an increased level of the progesterone hormones, you are more likely to be, what did we say, meticulous. Do you remember? Observant. So that's the best time to finalize plans, because as things are wrapping up, you can quickly see, wait, did you say if we default to pay you 5 million for what now? Then they're like, but you signed it. Yeah, maybe I was blinded on estrogen and testosterone. Calm down first. 5 million for what? Please explain to me why. It's the best time to do a quarterly review. So you've made your plans, you've been acting out on them, taking action. Now in your luteal phase is perfect time to wrap up and review and be like, okay, did what we did right now, did it even make sense? On a scale of like 1 to, and of course the perfect time to deep clean. Like I said, we're more meticulous, we're more observant, so it's the perfect time to deep clean your home, perfect time to clear your browser and follow people on social media, delete pictures you no longer need. All this, you even know that we women, our bodies are intelligent. We're naturally called to do certain things. Do you understand? At certain times, you observe yourself more, and don't fight with your body. Go with the flow. Understand your cycles, and just do the workouts you need to do. Look at the hair care activities you need to do and the spiritual practices. You have the book. And then let's talk about moon phases. And I'm sure you read the self-regulation tips for neurodivergent germs. What did you think about it?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Was it in the Naija Cycle?
Yeah, it is.
Because there are so many things.
I know, right? It's a packed book. Self-regulation tips. That is before the author profile. So page 18 or so.
Hold on.
Before the author's page.
I even know. There was something I saw that I wanted to ask you about.
What's that?
But I'm sure I'll check that later. Okay. Is it under extra tips? Hold on. You said there's eating tips, cooking tips.
Yes, those 3. Yes, so they are specifically for people who are neurodivergent to help them cope, because a lot of people, like certain things they struggle with, attention span or things like that, impact their nutrition and impact their health. So it were tips that I noticed have worked for me. When I read this, were tips that worked for me. I didn't even know they were actually professional names for them. Or can you imagine? I came across a channel. I know, I was surprised. I came across a channel that was talking about. I was like, wait, I do that. It's called Point of Performance. I didn't know that. That's fascinating. Anyway, so it's just something for you to take your time and read out. Bearing in mind that we discussed, your undiagnosed ADHD and the impact it has on your focus, and I'm sure if it's having impact on focus on certain aspects of life and how that impacts your consistency and discipline, that would trickle down to cooking, eating, and even time management, because the extra tip has stuff on time management in relation to like nutrition and just that, because even me as I am, I have to set reminders to remind me to drink water. And it was until I set that reminder that I realized how much I've been dehydrated for many years in my life. So So all those things of, oh, I always get an headache, oh, I can't think too much. Girl, I just needed to drink water, Susan. You don't understand. Ah! So let's talk about the moon phases, because we've talked about how the apps are not reliable, and if there's a likely future where they turn off all the data network and they turn off the television and turn off the electricity, you need to have this skill. So you can scroll up from self-regulation tips to moon phases. That's the blue. Are you there?
All right. Yes, and I want to ask you, under the menstrual phase, what is the Ho'oponopono home?
Oh, okay, yeah. Basically, it's a type of prayer. Yes, it's a type of prayer. You can Google it, yeah, but it's a type of prayer. Basically, it's you pray to your spirit, you pray to your body, you talk to your body, your cells. Basically, people have different things they channel, but the woman that I use, she channels the Holy Spirit. I mean, you talk to God. It's just that's the way you pray when your parent is sick and you pray, God, heal my parents. So the Ho'oponopono prayer is basically just praying, I recognize my cells, I recognize my womb, I recognize blah, 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 and any of the trauma, any of the pain that I'm holding on to, or those that are genetically stored, I release them. I soothe myself, I comfort myself, I release. The most important thing is to talk to your body, talk to your spirit. The mouth has power. There's power in the tongue, the Bible says, and our bodies listen to us. That's why when like what I said, when you begin to repeat yourself too much, oh, I'm just a fatty, say that every time well enough, you begin to become a fatty, because your brain begins to think there's no point. When you want to work out, you just begin to think there's no point. When you want to control yourself from binge eating, you be like, there's no point. And before you know it, one becomes a fatty. Something you were saying jokingly. Yeah, something you used to say jokingly just to make sure a friend doesn't feel too bad that they are not watching their weight. So, same way we have the power in the tongue to call in new realities that can be negative. We have the power in the tongue to forgive ourselves, to release stuff stored in our cells. I told you the power of the chromosomes. Chromosomes are cells that hold on to things from our parents and pass it on to us. Do you get that? So you can imagine if habits like smoking, how, mother said, see how this baby is sleeping like his father. You've seen all those cute videos online where the baby is sleeping exactly like the dad, and the mother is showing the video of two of them sleeping beside each other. Everybody's laughing. You are laughing. It's the same way trauma is passed. There's nothing wrong with laughing, don't mind me. But it's the same way trauma is passed. So the whole Ho'oponopono prayer talks and says, I release generational trauma. I release even traumas I've gotten maybe from times when I could not say no to a guy and we got intimate, or times I neglected my health, or times I got an abortion, but I didn't even want to be in a situation where I would have an abortion, but I found myself there because of maybe where I was at my journey. I didn't have enough self-worth, or nobody taught me about setting boundaries with a guy, or I just always assumed the guy is supposed to protect you, but I didn't know then that you have to stand up for yourself.
Oh my gosh, I feel that way too. Like there are times when I hated myself for not saying no, because I didn't want anything to do with this person. So why did I? I really just forgive myself sometimes, and sometimes I just try not to think about it.
You have to think about it. Maybe you will buy this level of. Have you gotten your last Embody Joy email?
I don't think so.
I sent it out on Tuesday. There are some journal prompts in there you need to really just go through. Okay. I dropped, I think, about 10 or 7. I think 10. Yeah, I think 10. The things you can journal them with or without being on your menstruation, but the amount of clarity, the way you need to be releasing. See, babe, it's an algorithm. The world's an algorithm, and you attract what you have within you. Imagine carrying all that unforgiveness, all that pain. Imagine the burden your cells are on, and they still have to show up and work for you every day, and they still have to show up and give you creative ideas to start a new business and to support you in a new country. Release yourself, as that Instagram comedians would say. Release us, I beg. Release us. Release us. You need to process it. It took me, one of my most watched videos on my YouTube is how to safely use an abortion pill, and I talk about how the first time I had to get an abortion and use an abortion pill was a circumstance where an intimate partner of mine, it basically is called he removed the condom without telling me. It's a form of sexual violence, and I got pregnant.
Yeah.
This was someone way older than me, and that video was like a release video for me. After I did that video and I bared my heart out, it was a sponsored video anyway. I bared my heart out till tomorrow. That's one of my most videos. People watch it and women DM me.
Yeah, I watched it. No one DM. Just watching it.
That's lovely. Women DM me and they share their experiences, and I'm just like, this is crazy. At the same time, people DM me ekbe that swear that how can you, but like I don't understand. Imagine bringing a child to the world that genetically from the start you didn't want that child, and it's encoded in their DNA. You see some kids, they have low self-esteem. Their moms are shining so bright, and it's like the kids, they are not bright. And of course, this is not even talking about the psychological aspects, because psychology and things that have to do with biology and neuroscience are just two angles to the same tunnel, which is the human body, understanding of the human body, right? So these are the things you need to be conscious of. So that's what the whole open prayer is. I could send you a link to the one I use. I did one day out of my period, and you do, babe, you will sleep. The way you will sleep, you wake up, it will be like you press reset on your body. You will feel light. You will feel it in your. You cry, you shake, you vibrate on the floor. You'll be shocked at the amount of trauma your body will release. You just need to channel. I just always channel the Holy Ghost. I channel like the energy I use. When she says, choose your energy to use. Me, I use the Holy Ghost because what energy do I have? I don't get energy. I say, Jesus, I'm calling you. Come and give me some Holy Ghost, or give me living water, or anyone you have to spare in heaven. I know what people are releasing today. My mom always jokes that I've finished all the holy water in heaven. My dear, you just have to show up for yourself. You have to show up for yourself. And you always have to release as a woman. You have to release to receive, because when Jesus did his first miracles, what did they do? They poured the old wine. Did they not? He said, pour it here, and then he did his thing. You need empty vessels for God to fill it. If you don't empty, you keep attracting the rubbish that is outside, and you're dating the same guy, you're going to the same job, you're doing the same thing. It's just different people, different organizational names, but because you've not cleared your mind enough. Time for class. You've not cleared your mind enough for and for newness. You've not cleared your body. You've not released for newness. I hope that basically answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Okay. I wanted us to talk about moon phases, but it's pretty much straightforward. It talks about how to tell where you are in your menstrual cycle just by looking at the moon, and why it's important to have the skill, because you don't know where the future is going we just don't know where the future is going, and you need to be prepared as a woman. You don't want to be dependent. See, anything that will have you dependent on anything outside yourself, no. If you can afford to get those things to supplement and support you, fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying become those people that are like no vaccines, no showers. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But anything that will get you in a state where you don't even understand the world and how you connect, because the moon is the most closest thing to us as women. When you look at the moon has cycles, right? It has 4 phases with 8 circular phases, right? And sorry, let me confirm that I'm saying what I'm saying. It has 8 phases, rather 4 quarters, 8 phases, right? So just like we women, how we have 4 phases of our cycle. So the moon is like the thing in nature that is most similar to us, the least you could do. And for time memorial, is in charge of like timing and dates and in control of the sea. So the moon is a very powerful astrological body, to call it like that. So you need to get familiar with the 8 phases of the moon and what they look like where you live. So if it's possible in the evenings, just go out, try and sight the moon in the sky, across the month. Just keep sighting it in the sky and observing, and Google it to check, what phase is it in, or what quarter is it in. Put in your dates, say moon phase put in your dates, Google. So when you look at it, you begin to get a sense of, this is how the moon looks like. Do you understand, in my space? And then you are also, you're tracking your menstruation now yourself. You're noticing what the first day of my period was, the first day of my follicular phase, or the first day of my ovulation, was the first day of my luteal phase. Because you're tracking all these days, you can be able to now check, okay, the moon is at full moon today, and then my period was 3 days ago. So that means that my period comes during waxing gilbert. That's the phase before the full moon. Do you understand? So even when you go on trips where there's time difference, where there's this on that, the moon stays the same regardless of time difference, wherever you are. So when you look to the moon, with or without your phone, with or without your app, you're like, full moon is coming. This moon is looking big, big, big. And I think some days ago, I've not seen it be fully big. So that means it's soon to be full moon. It's not after full moon. My period is coming. Oh. Do you understand? And you begin to say, oh, no wonder I'm craving chocolate. Oh, no wonder I'm craving like vegetable soup. You know? So it helps you prepare. And you know, this thing sounds so basic, but imagine if somebody gives you a heads up and you can buy the food, buy the menstrual health products you need, change your work schedule to have an easy menstruation, to be able to rest, and to also be able to come up with more creative ideas for your business. Imagine how much impact that would have on your physical health, your financial health, and your social health. Because people will never say, oh, Susan is always a moody bitch. She's cranky third week of the month. Nobody ever says that about you. They're like, Susan is just gorgeous. She's wonderful. She has dope energy. When we talk about women that should be women, we should count Susan there. People don't know your secrets. You see some people, they always show up. They're always amazing. I bet they cycle sync. With that, I think that's the end of our masterclass. That's the last chapter, and you know me, you know who I am. I am your coach. I am your wellness consultant, and I wish you all the very best. The rest of our communications will be via email or WhatsApp. So we'll just be to check in to see how things are going with you, to have more conversations on cycle syncing. If you have more questions from what's it called, the guide and other things, other aspects, we also like, you know, your personalized strategy. If you're making changes to them and you have certain questions, if you want to share your wins with me, I'm always here to receive and cheer you on, and yeah, things like that. So.
Thanks so much. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, happy.
I gave you a shout out even like at the very beginning. I was thinking, I was trying to remember your
my handle.
Your handle.
It's not Adaeze Feyisayo. I've changed it. Yeah, it's not. It takes time.
So thanks for being my accountability partner and everything, that the coach and all that. I really, really appreciated it. I mean, even if this was something I was gonna do, later, I'm glad I'm doing it now.
I'm so happy to.
Let me just push it. Or by the time I see, I read those copyrighted stuff about music, I would have been, skeptical about putting it out there. And I'll be like, what am I doing? Because I mean, I want to be, but I'm still gonna put out music. I'll just list, and I mean, because I also see other people do it. Like people that sang songs and all that, and they are not getting blocked and banned or whatever. So, and then there's this. I sent you on YouTube about one guy. Like, I see how he's even monetizing it. He has a company of subscribers that pay monthly and all that for different. So I'm also going to be closely monitoring him. I even think I want to pay for one of his sections and just know how.
That's so intelligent.
If I could possibly ask him for, maybe ask for tips and all those things.
And that goes with. That goes with one of these strategies for my success strategies. Improve your skills by getting a mentor or paying to have access to more knowledge. That's so brilliant. I'm so proud of you, to be honest. I'm just so excited for you. I'm excited for all of us on this journey. It's so fantastic. I will be sending you feedback forms so you can just help me fill in, but it probably won't be now. It'll probably be, next week. I just want you to settle in, soak in everything about cycle syncing. Think about what changes you want to make now, and then maybe plan for more changes later. It's nothing to be big of a deal. Just change a few things here or there in your diet and begin to train yourself. So of course, for example, during your ovulation, you have so much energy that's when you should batch record your content as much as possible. So till when you're more balanced hormonally, whether you're on luteal or menstrual phase, your body is good. Like, your body is good, so your emotions are regulated. Your body it's good. So I want that for everybody, every woman really, but we all have our own journeys to live, and I will do my best for my clients. All right, I think that's pretty much it. I've eaten like about 5 minutes into class time. I have to end the session here. Bye, Jam.
Bye. Thank you.
Yes, welcome. Thank you too for showing up and doing the work.
I love you.
I love you too. I'm wishing you all the best. Bye.